Hello. One of you asked if I would do this daily during this crisis, so I'm going to do a series of immune boosters. But before that, let me just make a quick announcement about tomorrow's prayer service. It will be live on audio as we send out an email, and if you didn't get it, please message me or contact me, and I will give you that contact. At 9:30, live audio. And then we haven't been able to work out the video technology to be live, but we will take a video and put it up shortly after the service ends, sometime after 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, which you can watch on Facebook. So, immune booster. Let's look at 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7, where Paul writes to his mentee Timothy these words: "For God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, love, and self-discipline." Let me read it again. You can look it up in your Bibles, or you can look it up online, BibleGateway.com, 2 Timothy 1:7. I use the New Living Translation. Put it before you. Pause now to do that if you'd like. "For God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, love, and self-discipline." Fear decreases immunity. Fear inspires panic and anxiety. Faith increases immunity. All sorts of scientific studies on that. It promotes hope and wisdom and strength. Now, faith doesn't mean to be foolish. Doesn't mean to walk in a crowd, shake hands, sneeze on people, all of those things that we're not supposed to. Faith isn't false confidence. It's not God's going to protect me even if I'm stupid. Faith means that we trust God, that no matter what happens to us or our loved ones, that we are in God's hands now and for eternity. Paul wrote this to Timothy. Timothy was young and he was afraid. He was put in a new situation, like us right now. Placed by Paul as the mentor, the pastor of Ephesus, one of the largest Gentile churches in the area, and that meant that there were a number of house churches in Ephesus, and Timothy had to, go from house to house and visit them and support them and guide them. And Timothy was afraid. Timothy was timid, just like us. New situation. We've never been here before. COVID-19, there's nothing been like this. An expert recently said that 9/11 is nothing compared to COVID-19 and what's happening to the economy, to people, to panic even. But we are not people of fear. We are people of faith. And, like Timothy, we're pastors. We're pastors to our families, we're pastors to our friends, we're pastors to our neighbors, we're pastors to the elderly person across the street. So in this verse, God's immuno booster is faith. It says again, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, of love, but a spirit of power and love and self-discipline." Power. Affirm God's presence in your life. God is with you. God's got this. God has you. God has your family. God has that sick relative, compromised relative in God's hands, now and in eternity. Power, spirit of power God's given us, a power of love. Pastor those around you. Care for those that are anxious. Don't dismiss their anxious thoughts. Acknowledge them, support them. Buy a gift card for a local restaurant so that they can stay afloat. If you would, donate to North Branch Reformed Church. You can do that online at nbrc.com/giving. Or you can send a check or whatever. We'll need to keep the doors open and keep the ministry going. Help us if you can. Reach out to that neighbor and that elderly person in your family. God has given us a spirit of power and love and self-discipline. Be wise. Obey caution. Socially distance. But also take a hike. Be disciplined positively. And again, check in on the elder, the family, the friends, neighbors. So take 2 Timothy 1, verse 7, and meditate on it. Put this verse on the fridge. Read it in rhythm of your breathing. For God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, of love, of self-discipline. And let a word or a thought speak to you and guide you today, so you will have your immunity boosted by faith, by hope, and by love. God bless. Participate tomorrow in the prayer service as you can.